Good morning. I want to thank our environmental leaders and transportation advocates for being with us here today. We have Brendan Chikovic from the Washington Conservation Voters, Bill Laborde from Transportation Choices Coalition, and Scott Otterson from the Sierra Club. I've said for some time that voters have a clear choice in this race. Now my opponent's allies have begun airing more than $150,000 worth of attack ads in a smear campaign against me. Who are these allies of Susan Hutchison? They are a rogues gallery of special interests. They know that by electing Susan Hutchison, they will be able to dismantle our environmental protections and stop the expansion of transit service for our people. Developer Kemper Freeman Jr., the region's leading backer of the attack against light rail, is putting tens of thousands of dollars into this smear campaign against me. The statewide builders lobby, which opposes our basic environmental protections, has contributed $50,000 to attack me. An international mining company that wants to massively expand this gravel pit on Maury Island, a company I've been fighting for years, has become a major player in this effort. Bruce McCaw, a multi-millionaire right-wing businessman, supporter of right-wing candidates and causes, is funding this effort. This is the same Bruce McCaw who's donating the house in Laurelhurst that Susan has not reported as a campaign contribution, for which there's been a public disclosure complaint filed. Downtown developer Martin Seelig, who spent nearly $1 million 3 years ago in a failed effort to pass the repeal of the estate tax, and other right-wing Republican interests are participating in funding this smear campaign against me. Why would they spend so much? Why would they spend so much to buy this race for my opponent? 2 reasons. First, they know Susan Hutchison will do their bidding if she is elected. And second, they know that I won't. I have a track record of standing up to these interests. I stood up to that international mining company that wanted to expand the gravel pit on Maury Island and build a barge facility right across her publicly owned shoreline. I stood up because I knew that doing more damage there to the herring spawning grounds that the salmon, our endangered salmon and orcas depend on, was wrong. And I took on that fight for over a decade. It seems that the company proposing to expand that gravel pit didn't like that very much, but it was the right thing to do. I stood up for light rail, helped lead the fight last year to extend light rail. I had to debate Kemper Freeman, who was opposed to the ballot measure extending light rail. But we won, and light rail will be extended south, east, and west, unless he and his allies have their way, because they're suing to try to stop light rail from coming to East King County. And just the other night, in our Como TV debate, Susan Hutchison defended that lawsuit. She and her friends who are trying to stop light rail from coming to the east side are ignoring the will of the voters of the people of King County. The King County Executive also appoints 10 of the 17 members on the Sound Transit Board. The next King County Executive will have more to do than any other person in the fate of light rail. I am committed to making sure we build out light rail that the people voted for, and then we get to the ballot with additional extensions that bring high-capacity transit to all of the county. Bottom line, Susan Hutchison is not telling the truth about who she is, about what she stands for, about who supports her. The truth is even though she's trying to pass herself off as a, quote, moderate nonpartisan. She's a very conservative Republican with close ties to the most conservative moneyed interests in our region. She's trying to fool the voters of King County into believing she will protect the environment and stand up for transportation choices. But her actions and those of her backers contradict that story. Susan's not an environmentalist. She's not a supporter of mass transit. She is just the opposite. She's fronting for some of the most unsavory big money interests in this region and is not leveling with the people about it, and that is wrong.